Welcome to this exciting episode of GenAI Live. My name is Brian Terry, and I'm a senior partner solution architect here at AWS. And I'm super excited to be talking to you at GenAI Live. And I'm joined here with my two favorite co-hosts. How about you guys introduce yourself? I can't even do it.
Sure. Hey, happy to be here, Brian. Hey, folks. I'm sure you're familiar with me. If you've regular on the show, my name is Dalian Ayekpour. I'm a senior technical account manager here at AWS. I service customers in the travel and hospitality space and work with customers on GenAI solutions. Happy to be here. Parijat, over to you.
Sure, thank you, Dalian. So, hey everyone, I'm Parijat Awasthi. I'm a senior partner solution architect at AWS, and I specialize in migrations and modernizations. But like every other field or track or whatever you want to call it, GenAI is used everywhere. So I heavily use GenAI to help modernize our customers their applications using generative AI and the amazing services that AWS provides.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm super excited about the show. If this is first time joining us, we're super happy that you're here. You can join us every Wednesday from 8 a.m. Well, from 9 a.m. to what?
Yeah, I think you got it the first time.
Yeah. So I'm on Eastern time zone. For me, it's like 11 o'clock. So I'm like, so 8 a.m. Pacific time to 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then if you're on like the East Coast for me, it's like 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. So, yeah.
So, always got to do those calculations in the head. I'm with you.
Tell me about it. Yeah, but it's good though. It's good to do that mental math, So yeah, so you guys, we're here. We're talking about GenAI. We're talking about the latest and greatest. What have you guys seen lately from AWS and its partners?
Yeah, Dalton, go ahead.
I mean, there's definitely a lot to talk about, a lot of announcements. July was a hectic month, a lot of things going on. New York Summit, as we're all familiar with, had a lot of announcements that we're happy to uncover, right? I think we talked about a few of them on the previous shows, but even as of recently, right, even out of July, we're already in August, 6 days in, and there's more announcements coming. So if you're unfamiliar with Bedrock, right, it's our way of hosting models, and not only just one model, right? It's a marketplace where you can discover, test out, and explore different models of different types, and see what works for you. So recently, we had some recent announcements as of yesterday of some new models coming in, particularly one that's interesting that I'd like to talk about is the OpenAI open weight models that were recently added. Parijat, were you able to catch up on that announcement?
Indeed, definitely. Yeah, in fact, that was kind of first, definitely. In fact, a lot of people are happy that OpenAI is finally available on AWS. And as you said, it's an open weight models, meaning the customers can host these models into their environment and make use of the OpenAI LLMs. And to be specific, what are these models, right? These are GPT OSS 120B and 20B models. These are available through Bedrock and SageMaker now. And like I said, this is the first time OpenAI models can be deployed on a cloud platform outside, Azure. So now you have another option to choose from, and as we say to our customers, Amazon, AWS, it's all about choices. Now you have practically every leading model which is out there in the market available on Bedrock. So you're not limited to just one model. You have plethora of choices, and go out there and build the use case that you have always wanted to, and leverage the best model of choice for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited to see what our customers do with these models, because I see this as a big success for AWS in the fact that we're offering these models that are even these open source models so people can play around with them and even do like scientific research with them. And I think it's super important. And I think it's awesome that Bedrock is just opening it up to all these flavors of models, everything from enterprise to like, these open source and small models. So this is super exciting.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
since these
I
are the
just wanted to
open,
say,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
sorry, no, I just want to say on that, I think it's definitely the strategy of Bedrock. And AWS was very open initially on is that we're looking to democratize the models and give you choice. And I think now, especially with bringing open AI and with their open OSS models on, as Parajat mentioned, just reinforces the standpoint that we have there, and choice is always better for the marketplace. So love to see it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm super excited. I mean, this is great stuff. I recently just used Bedrock myself because I'm a scientific researcher too, so I'm doing research on AI and my own PhD studies. And when I found out the most interesting thing about Bedrock was just running inference at scale, like batch inference. Like imagine if you had to like run inference on a million documents. How would you do that, right? You want to do API calls, and luckily Bedrock has batch inference built in, and it's 100% stable. So having enterprise grade solutions like that, I think is super awesome.
Yeah, and one of the key benefit that our customers tell is that the ease of access to these models through Bedrock. So, for example, in case of OpenAI, so you can seamlessly experiment with different models, mix and match capabilities, and switch between providers without rewriting the code. So, and specifically about OpenAI, so at launch, these models are available in Bedrock via an OpenAI compatible endpoint. So you can point the OpenAI SDK to this endpoint or use the Bedrock Invoke model API. And we're
Hmm.
also working to add the support for Bedrock Converse API.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then you can even run like a function calling with batch inference, which I found is super interesting. So that's super powerful too. So imagine if your LLMs could call Lambda functions, like just kind of built out of the box with Bedrock, and just tech like that is just super interesting. Yeah.
The
Indeed.
opportunities that opens up, right, just becomes expansive, right? They're getting external access from the LLMs, especially with agents and function calling, just gives us so much more tools and capabilities that we can leverage these models for. So, looking forward to seeing what not only what AWS has in store, but what our customers and our viewers are building with those as well. That's always the most exciting thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even our partners, I've seen some partner solutions that are built out of this, and it just kind of blows my mind. Everything from ad agencies to video companies, and we see them every week here. There's always something new and something exciting to see, and it's all built on the same tech, which is Bedrock, which is exciting.
Yeah. And this is truly making the things, democratized for everyone. And speaking of choice, we announced something else also yesterday,
Oh,
which, right, which is Anthropic. Right. So Anthropic announced their latest model, which is 4.1, both Opus and Sonnet, and they are available on Bedrock. And that tells that, if you're on Bedrock, you will have the access to all the latest and greatest, which are available from these, LLM providers.
oh yeah, that is awesome. I love Anthropic. Very good partner of AWS. We love them. We love what they do. Even that release, and then they just released C4E on Marketplace. So now you can just purchase C4E for your company through Marketplace. So I'm super excited about Anthropic. They're definitely leaning in and figuring out what customers want and giving it a way to deliver it to them.
Yeah, and this is apparently their most powerful model. So again, just imagine the use cases you can use it, especially in building the agents, especially in the software development. So the performance is going to be, real fast. So the responses are going to be real fast as well.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and this is a live show, guys. So, like, if you guys want to put comments of what you guys are building with Bedrock, we'd love to hear from you. I'm sure there's something out there that's super amazing that you just want to highlight, and we'll be happy to do that.
Yeah, one thing I'm really looking forward to with the Anthropic models, in particularly, right? Obviously, AWS and Anthropic has had a close partnership uh, for a while now, and we definitely have seen their models evolve and get access on Bedrock relatively quickly. I'm really looking forward to, with these new Opus and Sonnet 4.1 models, though, how we integrate those into tools such as Amazon Q Developer, or more recently Kiro, right? So if you've had time to play around, if you're currently on the wait list like myself, still waiting for full access, but I've seen and played around with it a bit on some others' accounts, and currently running some Anthropic models on there, 3.5 and 4. So really looking forward to seeing how 4.1 can elevate that experience for our developers out there.
Yeah.
How about you and Brian and Parajah? Have you had any experience with Kira? Are you still in the wait list territory? Or you been able to test it out on public preview?
I just downloaded it 2 days ago, and I'm kind of like blown away with its capabilities. And I mean, first thing that popped out for me was uh, it asked me to open the project folder. I did. I had an existing project. I opened it, and then I'm learning about it every day. But one of the key functionality that I discovered was you can the Kiro will have access to your all the project files, and then you can ask the Kiro to that help me develop this new feature onto my existing project, and it will help you do that, right?
Mm.
Because so far uh, Q developer, I could be wrong, but Q developer, which as I've been using, it helps me to develop features and functionalities for the new applications. But now I'm getting to see that it scans through your existing code base, and it learns what it is trying to do, what the code is all about, and then it will also help you to develop new features and functionalities into your existing application itself. So imagine the use case, for the enterprise workloads, right? So, and again, it's a spec based, it provides both vibe as well as spec based, coding. So vibe, you can just simply get started with coding, whereas in spec, you'll be way more methodical and, in building your overall code. So yeah, it's been quite interesting. And again, I think it's powered by Claude, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the power it provides is immense.
Oh yeah, I see these kind of AI coding tools as kind of being a force multiplier. For me, I've been developing a long time. I like literally wrote my first line of code is "Hello World" in 1999. So I'm older than I look. So using these tools, man, you can just prototype stuff really quick. Like if you didn't want to spend 4 or 5 hours just to see if your idea worked, you can literally just vibe code it and see if it works, and then modify it and take it to the next level. So I see these as just multiplying your force as a developer and like allowing you to, prototype and get things done quicker. And yeah, I'm super excited to see where this technology goes. And I'm sure that, it's just going to grow and grow and get better and better.
Yeah,
Yeah, one
definitely.
of my favorite things on that, and Brian, I definitely feel you in being able to use that to write a program and get something to a solution so you can at least see it. But
Yeah.
beyond that, my favorite thing, I don't know about you all, but documentation in my code seems to, might lack a little bit. And so it's always a struggle to go back and make sure things are documented, make sure graphs are right. And one of my colleagues and I were going with it a few weeks back, and having it create the documentation, as you were saying, Parajot, it reads from your code, it looks at your repositories, and it can create documentation and alignment to what you would expect for going there. So beyond just helping me code, helping me with the documentation, that's where I need. I can get all the assistance I can. So That's been
Yeah.
great to see.
And in fact, that reminds me of one of the conversation that I was having with one of my partners. So, they were engaging on a migration project, which involved modernization as well. And they were saying that there are quite a lot of legacy applications this customer have, and the developer has left. It's so legacy. There's no documentation that exists. The first thing that came into my mind was Q developer, or now Kiro. So why don't you just let either of these scan through your code base and come up with the documentation for you to get started with the migration instead of figuring it out all by yourself, right? So that's a power it brings to the real world use cases.
Yeah, it's truly amazing. I'm one of those people that believe like as soon as the code leaves my laptop, it's legacy code and it's just going to rot away. So the only thing I can do is just prevent it to be better for as long as I can. And as far as the documentation, I looked at my GitHub repo like 4 years ago before we had these AI coding tools, and I'm like, what was I thinking? What did I do? Because I didn't document any of this, and now I have to go back and figure it out. So,
Mhm.
having AI there to say, oh, well, you agree with this, it's very helpful. So yeah.
Yeah, and again, that reminds me another thing, right? So Kiro has this feature called hooks, and it will help you. It will kind of act like a peer programmer of sort, and will keep on reviewing whatever you're doing, and it will ensure that all the best practices that you should be following as a developer, it takes those actions on your behalf. So to your point, Brian, so did I follow the best practice? Is this I did not document this line of code. So you have another
Uh-oh.
area where GenAI will help you on that front.
I might
Yeah.
be in trouble once I start with Kira. It's gonna be might be scrutinizing me too hard. It's gone are the days of the rubber ducky the side of your laptop. Now you have it, currently
Uh,
reviewing everything. So
yeah, but it
Yeah,
gets better than that. I mean, how many times do you think about like regular expression? It's like you try to learn it as much as you can, but if you don't use it every day, it just falls out. And you can just ask Gen AI. He's like, I need a regular expression for this, and it just helps you. Multiply your force is what I look at it.
yeah, right.
Yeah. So one other thing I'm super excited about Bedrock that we it's super exciting, and we don't get a lot of people or people talking about it, is this multi-agent collaboration thing. I think it's super interesting and super cool, because we're always dealing with like these models that we could be right or could be wrong, or different models have different capabilities. But I think it's a really cool concept in which you have models that actually talk to each other and make a decision. And I think it's highly powerful. Like imagine if you use multiple models to answer the same question and you get the best out of all of them. I think it goes a long way in figuring out correctness for inference.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys had a chance to kind of play with that tech yet?
I I remember one, in the past we had one partner who had exactly the same, problem, product addressing the similar, problem. You give it a prompt, and it will send it out to different providers, model providers, and
Yeah.
you can check for yourself what's the best suited for your needs, along with how many tokens that every model use, along with the cost, right? So, yeah, but I think just to an extent that capability exists in Bedrock also. Uh, you can
Yeah.
compare you can do the model evaluation natively within Bedrock as well.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
where I've seen some collaboration with multi-agents. So as I mentioned in the beginning of the show, I work with travel and hospitality customers. So as you can imagine, it's been an industry that is definitely looking to evolve with generative AI technologies. How can they empower customers to enjoy these experiences and help them as they plan out a trip, let's say to Europe or something. So not only does it a lot goes into the travel booking experience, flights, we have hotels, rental cars, maybe events, a lot of things that go into that. So the multi agents being able to collaborate with each other to make a cohesive experience that, isn't, you don't want to necessarily book an event 500 miles away, maybe in Europe or maybe in a geographical area, but these things have to work together to make something that's ultimately going to be a good experience for the traveler or users. So a lot of interesting things emerging in that field, and definitely looking forward to how that evolves over time as it'll transform the travel and hospitality industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And again, there's so many things, right? There's MCP. There was MCP. I mean, there is still MCP. It will continue to be there. But uh, now we have A2A, right? A2A protocol, agent to agent
Mm,
protocol. So that's another interesting way to handle all these different multi-agent orchestration collaboration. And I think things will continue to evolve. We'll keep on seeing newer protocols coming into the market to make this whole ecosystem of generative AI and now agentic AI more prevalent.
absolutely. Yeah. Even with AWS, we're kind of leaning into that. Like we have the agent marketplace that just released. I'm super excited about that. And we're going to have a lot of partners in it. And yeah, this is
Yeah,
a super exciting launch, I think.
yeah, and thanks for reminding about that. So one of the important service that we announced in New York Summit, this year was Agent Core, right? So speaking, going back to our point that you can rapidly create, prototypes using things, tools like Kiro now. But how do you scale those prototypes into production? That's where Agent Core, comes into the picture. So it provides you the runtime, it provides you the memory, so that the agents are able to, remember the context of the conversations. It provides you access to the tools, which are the most important, aspects of any agentic AI architecture. So from prototype to production, you have across the spectrum, you have the services, the models, the tools available on AWS, Amazon Bedrock, right? So I mean, there's no better time to build, bring your ideas to life and make them production ready.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. You hit the nail on the head with that. It's just that having the agent core, and then having the ability to have all these partners develop applications on them. You can just use them. I mean, it's awesome. It's very
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think
did
one of
want
the.
to
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to call it a quick comment from one of our viewers on LinkedIn here, and they're asking, where do you start to explore AWS AI services? And I think
Oh,
that brings me into a great point that I wanted to bring up on today's show. And if you're familiar with AWS conferences such as summits or reInvent, obviously. You may be familiar with AWS Deep Racer, which was an AI based event to retrain cars and they
mm,
ride around the track. Unfortunately, that service is starting to sunset here into 2025. But the successor for that is a way to get some hands on experience. So, to answer your question here, I did want to highlight the AWS AI League, which was announced at New York Summit as well. So if you're unfamiliar with this, like I said, it's a type of an event, a league, so have you, where you compete and you can tune, get hands-on experience with some of the AWS AI services to better equip yourself and get some of that hands-on experience while also having fun competing with colleagues or peers in the space. So definitely looking forward to our next conferences coming up, and it's particularly reInvent to see what happens there. Some prize, of course. No league is complete without some prize or special things along the way. So if you're unfamiliar with AWS AI League, definitely looking forward to seeing you get some hands-on experience at our summits as well as hosting it at your company. So
mm.
look it up and definitely look forward for more updates in the AWS AI League space.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Good point. And another thing about it is it's just AWS, right? I mean, it's just there are no long-term contracts or anything. You can go sign up for an AWS account right now and actually start using these tools at a really almost free cost for some of these things that you get. And then you combine that. We also have AWS sample repo on GitHub, so you can look that up. And we have a bunch of Bedrock examples. So if you really want to kind of play with some of these kind of tooling in Bedrock, you don't have to start from scratch. You can just use the GitHub, clone the repo, and start working through some examples. And you get to play with some of the latest and greatest things, from everything from RAG to multi-agent collaboration to even using agents. And you can just run through the GitHub repository and kind of play around with these tools. So yeah, it's definitely not closed off, and it's very accessible to you as an individual.
Yeah. They even
yeah,
recently updated the free tier, right? So if you're unfamiliar,
Hmm.
if you're a individual contributor, you can sign up for an AWS account and I encourage you to go look at some of the recent updates, but we've revamped it to give you more accessibility, more access where you can do some of this testing, particularly at no cost to you when you get started. So look into that, and encourage you all to sign up for your AWS accounts today.
Absolutely. Yeah, exciting stuff. Yeah, and then we're just going to continue to kind of talk about exciting stuff. I think this show is just, we're going to talk to some great partners, and we even have some interesting shows coming up, and we even have an interesting show coming today. It's always a great partner that's willing to come on and talk to us about the next greatest thing in Gen AI.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I
So
mean,
yeah.
I just want to mention that, with GenAI, it's, building something has become so much accessible, but at the same time, we as the experienced developer, right, we also need to be, very aware of what the GenAI is providing as the output. Yes, it's true that with every new foundation model, the outputs, the responses are getting much better compared to what we used to get, maybe like 2 years ago. I'm reading some of the comments, so yeah, that Kiro is you need to be very specific about this. So yeah, I think that will continue to be there. But again, as a developer, it's helping me immensely, and we are seeing a very strong demand of Kiro itself. So yeah, and like you said, that this will continue to evolve, and things will only keep getting better, from here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. So yeah, we're just looking at all your comments. Thank you guys for participating in it, and we'll try to answer your comments as much as we can, and try to bring those in and bring those into the conversation. Because this is a live show, and I'm not AI generated. I'm actually just a real human being, so I'm actually human. But the way AI is going, I may be AI next year. It's AI Brian.
You got enough content out there, Brian. They're making a model on you right now, so you better watch out.
Absolutely. AI Brian. Yeah, it'll be great. Can't wait to the day. Yeah.
Right.
Well, before I bid my farewell and let you bring on the next guest for the segment, I did just want to mention some of the awesome things that not only our partner coming on next on the segment, so stay tuned for that, but coming beyond and future episodes as well is the space of the agent AI marketplace that AWS has. So as we kind of talked about it a little bit throughout the show, recently we've released that AI agent marketplace, and we've seen a lot of development. I think up to this point we have thousands of different agents that you can go to the marketplace, so you don't have to start from scratch. Leverage some of the current technologies that our partners are putting out to leverage for your use cases, and looking forward to not only seeing what you can do with those agents, but also what our partners and you all continue to build with those as well. So definitely looking forward to hearing on our next segment what Logic no, I won't give too much away. I'll save that for you guys, but what our next segment has in store in regards to AWS and how we're collaborating together.
Absolutely.
Right. So I'll just give a little cue about that. So, talked about agent marketplace. A lot of agents are compatible with, agent core. Agent core provides, a lot of features, capabilities like runtime memory. It also provides observability, right? So our next segment is somewhat related to that.
Awesome. Super excited.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Dylan, for joining us in this riveting conversation about AI. I definitely learned a lot of things that are really cool. And thank you so much for joining us for this first segment.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Yeah. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a few minutes with our first partner guest. So thank you. Welcome to this exciting episode of GenAI Live. My name is Brian Terry, and I'm a senior AI and data partner solution architect here at AWS. And I'm joined here with my good friend and co-host, Parajat. Parajat, how about you introduce yourself?
Hey, thanks, Ryan. Hey, everyone. I'm Parijat Awasthi. I'm a senior partner solution architect at AWS, and I specialize in modernization and migrations, but heavily using GenAI in any of my conversations with my partners, with my customers around these topics.
Awesome. And this is your first time joining us. We're super excited that you're here. You can join us every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time. So thank you for joining us. And Parajat, I'm super excited about our next guest, and I'm super excited to hear what they're going to be talking about today. How about you?
Likewise, absolutely. I mean, GenAI, agentic AI is spreading in every space, and you while all is good about Gen AI, agentic AI, what good it is if you cannot see what it's doing, right? Uh, so observability, and especially in, is there a way we can use it in our operations, the maintenance of something of that sort. So I think let's bring our next guest who can talk about their product. So
Yeah, super excited. So welcome to Gen AI Live. How about you introduce yourselves?
Yeah, thank you for having us on, Brian and Burjit. So, Karthik SJ, I'm the general manager of AI at LogicMonitor. I'm based here in the Bay Area, and yeah, super excited to be on the show today.
Yeah,
Hi,
welcome.
Gus Emery. I'm a senior solution specialist with LogicMonitor. I work closely with Karthik. Pleasure to meet everyone. Thanks for having me on.
Welcome. We're super excited to have you on, and I'm a big fan of your company. So, tell us a little bit, tell the audience a little bit about what your company does.
Absolutely, yeah. So, LogicMonitor, we do hybrid observability, and what that means is, we monitor some of the infrastructure, network, and critical workloads both on the on-prem and on the cloud, right? And so, customers really rely on us to keep their business resilient and on and making sure that they're doing what they do best. So that's the thing. So a lot of critical companies like IHG hotels and banks rely on Logic Monitor to really give you that visibility into the hybrid uh, observability.
Awesome, awesome. So, yeah, this is super exciting. So, I mean, your company is super awesome, and I'm a big fan. So, you're always releasing some of the latest and greatest things in that space. Can you talk a little bit about what you're building right now and introduce it right now?
Yeah, it depends when we release. So yeah, so no, I think the most exciting thing is, yeah, we recently launched Edwin AI on the AWS Agent Marketplace. You were just talking about that, and it's super exciting because, and I've been in the space of, I would say, AI. Back then they called it ML. So I've been at this. I was at SAP. We call it machine learning, and for some of you who've been there, it was like, don't even talk to me if you have clean data, right? That was like the thing. Like, go back to your thing, get me clean data, otherwise don't even talk to me. So that used to be a thing. And then we had chatbots, and okay, those were better models. And I think it's really exciting time now with the technology, and like you said, access to the technology. It's just like amazing. It's amazing time to be a builder. Period. Right. And the only limit is your imagination. And so when we talked about Edwin, we talked to so many of our customers. I mean, there's a lot of pain in IT operations. I mean, this is
Oh
like
yeah.
I used to be engineer a long time back, but if you think they've normalized 3 a.m. pages, like it's a normal part of the day, like on call is part of the day. And if you think about like what the technology can do, and you're still getting engineers getting paged at 3 a.m. and that's become a normal situation. I mean, there's got to be a better way. And so we were really, really motivated by solving that and improving the quality of work for so many IT ops engineers globally and especially our own customers. And so we started to tackle that. And Edwin is really your agent for IT operations.
Oh man, you're hitting me in a soft spot because I was one of those guys that was running DevOps and been on a call and woken up at 3 in the morning. So I'm super excited to see how you guys have addressed that issue because I think it's awesome and it's a tough spot to be if you're one of those guys on the front lines.
yeah. So it looks like you use AI in ops. So is it similar to AI ops or is it different than AI ops? So if you can, elaborate on that.
Yeah, and this terminology AIOps has been around for a while. It was coined by Gartner almost 2017 or 2018, and there's been this proverbial promised land, right? Like, hey, we're gonna solve self-healing, and but the tech was not there 5 years back. Like, you can do this with machine learning models. Like you said, the responses were not great, and I think what happened when we were starting to look into it, uh, the tech was getting really good, and it had all the elements of why this would really be the right time to solve this in a way that is transformational. Number one, I look for something that's high volume. Right? Do you have high volume of alerts? I mean, nobody's going to say I have less alerts. Like, everybody has alert noise, period. Otherwise, you're not doing something right. Right. So, a high volume problem of alerts, highly repetitive. You have people. I was talking to a customer, and he said, like, they're a bank in the East Coast, and they're like, he starts his day at 6 a.m. I'm like, why 6 a.m.? Well, the branch is open at 8. I got to make sure, like, I'm doing all the checks and balances and diagnostics, thing. So highly repetitive checks that they're doing every day. That's the routine, right? And high pain point. Like, imagine when there's an outage or a P1. Imagine the stress levels of not just the people, in the organization, but also on the employees who are trying to fix it. Like, this is, like, guys, high stakes. And you saw that with CrowdStrike, you saw the other outages. Like, so it's perfect ingredients for you to use AI as a technology to solve this problem. So we're really using it to, reduce the noise. I don't need to see 100,000 alerts in a day. I want to reduce that noise. That's one problem we solve. Second thing we do is really help you find that root cause. It's a needle in so many haystacks. I'm like, I don't even know which haystack to look at. I'm like, can I find the right answer? And so we give you all the context to the models to find you that root cause and save you time. We may not get it right, but save you time. And the third thing is really about fixing it. Don't just tell me how to, what's the code to write it. Like, maybe I want the AI to go fix the code, or fix or roll back the change, right? Or change the configuration. So we are seeing now an amazing opportunity of AI detecting, sensing, reasoning, and even fixing the issue, all without a human. And the only page you'll get, Brian, is when it already fixed the issue, not to wake you up.
That's, yeah, I mean, that sounds super interesting because, like, you were talking about, like, being up at 6 a.m. and doing all these things. Man, I was getting PTSD. Yeah, this is super exciting. I mean, this just seems like a very innovative solution. So, when you were developing the solution, how did you start with this? Like, did you just work back from all the pain points of, like, this industry and then, like, just develop this? How did you take the approach of building such an innovative solution?
I mean, the pain was there, but it was at a surface level. And I think the moment we started talking to more customers and diving into it, I mean, it just seemed like the industry as a whole was glossing over this. And I worked in enterprise software in various domains, right? I mean, CRM and sales, and but I think IT ops is something where I feel like it was, it's normalized. Like I said, 3 a.m. and war rooms are normalized. And I'm like, guys, there's got to be a better way of, like, not having 200 people in a war room. And maybe that, 5% of them are trying to fix the issue and the rest are giving status updates, or trying to get caught up on what's going on. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way. So we really thought that the industry as a whole has just normalized this. And, the timing was right. And LogicMonitor was so well positioned because we collect a lot of the data. We collect the metrics, the logs, the traces, and the underlying telemetry and the forensics you need to fix it. So we are in a position to give customers those root causes that can reduce outages from, like, days to hours, right, or minutes. So,
Right. And the fact that you said that it acts upon, those issues and goes and fixes it. So that's really interesting. So I'm sure you must be having the right guardrails around it, that it takes the actions to not and not disrupt something in the process.
yeah, that's the last thing you want. I think it's growing. By the way, automation is something people are doing anyway today. It's not agent automation, but they're doing automation in any way. So
Run back automation, yeah.
it could be simple, restarts, or adding more capacity, or rolling back changes. So the automations exist. I think the opportunity, like I said, we have is And that's kind of where I get really excited with, we call the term team Agentic AIOps.
Yep.
And the notion there is giving more agency to the system to be more sensing, perceiving, reasoning, and fixing, right? So that's kind of where it is. Because I don't, if you know the issue is a simple restart would do it, or adding more capacity, why don't you just do it? Like, why do you need a human in the loop to do it? And this is not best use of the time. So we are seeing a massive transformation of the kind of work level zero, we call it level one engineers, and many of them are like in MSPs or outsourced. That kind of work is going to change because this is grunt work, right? This
Yep.
is not innovative. This is not strategic work. So we're giving a lot of teams time back to go and do the stuff that's interesting.
Yep. Yeah. At AWS, we call it like undifferentiated heavy lifting. So looks like that's what exactly you are, going after. Removing that undifferentiated heavy lifting from people's end and letting agent do that work. Yeah.
Awesome. I can't wait to see this solution. I know you must have a demonstration of it.
Oh yeah, we have an amazing demo, and Gus is our demo guru here. He's even got a cool background. I keep asking him, how do you get this background? Did you use some stuff?
Somebody gave it to me, so I'll pass it off to you if you want it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah. Let's say, if possible, can we dive into a demo and quickly check it out?
We can do the demo, and then I'll pass back to Karthik for a couple of slides, and I'll kind of cover what
awesome.
Edwin does within the platform. So remember, LogicMonitor and Edwin both worry about status change events within your environment, right? So within that AIOps space, something is going to happen at some point, and something's going to go down and turn from clear to a warning or a critical or a major and back. Edwin has the ability to, number one, scan through those things, but also grab enrichments. So things we know about your environment or you pass in about your environment. And I shouldn't say this is a LogicMonitor only solution. We literally utilize third-party and connectivity all the time to be able to enrich our pieces. We have a couple of customers that have 4 or 5 different things connected in that we correlate together to make sure that when somebody spins something up or a storage array goes awry, we have the ability to correlate that stuff together. And I'm going to talk through a story like that right now. As I start to look here, I just want to scroll over, and you guys were kind of talking about machine learning. Well, machine learning is one of the base pieces of this, but then we go into that that generative AI as well as the agentic AI spaces very quickly and easily and seamlessly, because as Karthik was talking about, we were built AI first, so it kind of helps us there. But you'll notice that we have some percentages here where we're grouping things together on a fuzzy search, as I like to call it as a developer, right? Where we're matching at a percentage. We can set that percentage. We can look at that percentage. But you'll notice that this one up here in the West is at 100%. This is the one we're going to dive into, where we would have had 22 alerts. Now, one of the biggest things that when you hit the AIOps space, you have great monitoring. When a system goes down, and we saw this at one of our customers the other day, is that when that customer goes down, and they happen to have a customer that had an internet connection that went down, 389 devices screamed in pain, from that Star Wars reference, at that exact same second. Well, Edwin was able to take that, correlate all 389 alerts into one, and send that one alert saying, your customer is down. Here are all the affected devices. Here's your blast radius, and end of story. That was it. Now, normally they would have had to scale back the alerts. The alert volume would have been way too high, and that would have then caused even more pain, because as I'm going to describe here in just a second, as we start to look at these things, I, as a developer, would probably get 1 or 2 of these tickets. The network team would get another ticket. And then how do we understand what's happening within that ticket as I'm trying to troubleshoot this? So as you can see, we have our AI agent on the left. We have a great summary of what happened in California and Nevada, and the fact that we lost a VPN tunnel. And then we have some root cause suggestions. Now, why do we have suggestions? Because it could be more than one item that goes down, but this helps the value of that level 1 tech support person that maybe doesn't understand networking and applications like a tier 3, but can now understand what happened and get it either to the right person or ask for help on how to troubleshoot this from our Agentic AI. So you can see we have root cause 2 and root cause 3. Now, as we start to look at that, and I'm going to start to swing these over because visibility isn't the best, you can see that all of our pieces over here are failing. And as they're failing, we're getting multiple different alerts in. But I want to make sure that I highlight 2 different things in here. Application timeouts were observed as the incidents escalated, meaning that this was a byproduct. So as I was saying, as a developer, I would probably get these 2
Gus,
yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Brian, can you guys see the demo? Because I'm seeing a different screen. Or you guys are seeing?
Yeah, we see the demo.
We see the demo.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was hoping it was sharing. So anyway, the application timeouts were observed as the incidents escalated. Sorry, I'm talking too fast. So we have database and payment timeouts here that are actually being pulled in by an APM, not from LogicMonitor, not from our core platform, but from a third party. We also have that VPN connectivity change coming in from a logging subsystem, as well as stuff coming in from our core platform. So do you need our core platform to utilize our AI? No, you don't need it, but it does help in a lot of ways. So as we start to look at this, we have the details about, is that incident active? Where did that incident go? We cut that ticket within our ITSM piece. It could be ServiceNow, it could be Dynamics, or a few other ones that we're working on, as well as being able to tell what was that duration, what caused it, and then going through and seeing that west. Now remember, I pointed that west out because Edwin isn't a constant. Edwin is always fluctuating and finding issues within the system. And you'll notice that we have 3 insights that were merged together to create this larger blast radius. As Edwin was getting this data in, we were understanding, hey, we had a problem with this device, this device, this device. Oh, wait, they're all located in the West SD-WAN region. All of this stuff ran in the West SD-WAN region. That is where the correlation happened. And of course, because the application needs this VPN connectivity to work, that's what happened. Now, just stepping back, and then I'll kind of pass it back to Karthik after I do one last thing. As an application person, I would have gotten those 2. I wouldn't have known that there was a network outage. I would have started troubleshooting this probably 15 to 20 minutes in. I would have been like, well, everything's up. I don't know what happened. So my ticket would say, I don't know what happened. Something happened. But if I see everything and I know that happened on a network, my job is really simple because I have now produced innocence for myself, and I can go back to my normal job of doing whatever I do on a normal day-to-day basis. But as I was stating before, we can also message Edwin, and we can do things that help our day-to-day business by asking for an RCA report. We can also ask about, yes.
Sorry to interrupt. We are still on that screen. At least I'm seeing at mine, and I think the user also seeing the
interesting, because
yeah.
I am sharing the screen. I don't know what's happening.
We're just seeing the events screen.
It didn't share. Hold on. Let me stop the screen and re-add it.
Yeah, looks like we missed the fun
part.
Yeah, but yeah, we
Anyway.
get the idea that you're using GenAI to analyze these, and correlate all
Here
these
we go.
different streams.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
Awesome.
So I'll just cut it. We have that application timeout. We have all of that data coming through. I apologize. For some reason, it locked up, and I haven't stopped sharing. But anyway, we have all of those different merged insights, all of the alerts together. And then, of course, that root cause summary over here, which I really, really wanted to show, because that helps us ask those agents to be able to see things, see the timeline, the impact, the root cause summary, the validations, the remediations, et cetera, be able to copy and paste that, and then, of course, be able to then capture all of your evidence on the support. But that's Edwin in its summary. Karthik, do you have anything that you want to show, or?
Yeah, and this is what I call AI investigation, and we are really helping you troubleshoot and diagnose and give you the root cause, and we'll look at the whole spectrum. One thing I like about the slide, if customers ask me, is I'm like, maybe for a second, don't think about AI and just think about what problem you're trying to solve and where there's pain. So because you kind of then you're trying to find a force fitting it. And so I would say just zoom out, figure out your business process. What are you trying to solve? How much time are you spending? Maybe your root cause takes on average 3 days. Maybe your remediation takes 1 day, right? So think about that and then figure out where you can automate it and where you can reduce time. So, and we talk about it as a team, as a Edwin, as a system of intelligence and action. Everybody has a reference architecture in your observability of what you're monitoring, and you'll have different tools and different parts of the stack. Edwin would connect to any third-party systems, not just LogicMonitor. We can connect to APM tools, we can connect to logging platforms, we can connect to cloud monitoring solutions. Because ultimately, when you have that power outage, you don't want 100 alerts telling you it's a power outage. You want the one incident telling it's a power outage, right? To save your time. And so we will then connect downstream to your ITSM and your runbooks. But that's kind of how we see it, because you don't want to be staring at dashboards. You can use a natural language interface to interact, and even write runbooks. Like we could use underlying thing, and so we really build this, with what he said, underlying with Bedrock and Claude as the underlying model. But yeah, we're model agnostic. So we would be constantly doing A/B testing on which model performs well for root cause, which one performs well for a postmortem. So there is hooks in the product to make sure that you can do A/B testing and pick the right model for the job, right? And so this is something that's available on the AWS marketplace. Really thankful for the partnership here to the AWS team to help us also build this through. And we, like I said, this is a problem where if you're still expecting and normalized with 3 a.m. alerts, I would say there's a better way of going about this.
I would say it is too. I mean, this is a
Yeah.
fantastic solution. I don't know. It's just like having an expert in the room with you too on certain things when you try to troubleshoot these issues, and I think it kind of helps with the overall process. This is super exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that I really see the power of, Edwin AI bringing to, to the forefront of analyzing those thousands of, logs, cutting through the noise and bringing you the right information, just what you need. And I especially love that chat because I personally love to, chat about things and all the information that I have on the side, logs, what's causing the problems. I would love to, talk to all that information and data. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had one of the customers flash there, Syngenta, and he's a 25 plus year old networking veteran, and he was like, "Man, I wish Edwin was there a long time back." But you know what? I can say networking is cool again, right? And so I'm like, yeah, you should have computer science graduates join and become a network engineer, because they're like, yeah, everyone is gravitate becoming an application developer, but it's fun. It's really it's the foundation, right, of everything. And so the network and infra is the foundation. If you have a strong foundation, you can really get to the root cause faster. And there's a joke that there's this metric called MTTI. This is not mean time to investigate, but mean time to innocence. Don't blame the network every time there's a problem.
Right.
I like how you put that veteran, because I'm sure being a network engineer over that time, he's seen some things and been in some wars. So, yeah, I'm glad this tool is actually helping him. That's super exciting.
Yeah. I mean, I can relate it to myself because sometime back in my career, I was into the operations and, apps to infrastructure, there was always a fight that, it's not my problem. It's apps, it's storage, it's servers, it's networks, right? It's database problem. So there's always a pinpointing that's going on. So I think AI is going to do a lot of, moderation between all these and just tell, okay, dear network, this is your problem. Dear app, this is your problem.
This is
And we
super
and we
awesome.
have the proof to to back that claim from AI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is super exciting. So, where can customers find out more information about Edwin AI and information about how they can get started using it themselves?
Yeah, great question. And you can go to our website, logicmonitor.com and /EdwinAI, and that's a great place to start. Also, if you're already AWS customer, you can use on Agent Marketplace, the newly launched Agent Marketplace, and get things. We will do also discovery workshops to help you assess your maturity and how to really go about it. Like I said, AI is not a silver bullet. You really want to understand the pain points, and some pain points are more around root cause, and some more around noise reduction. So we'll help you. But this is what gets me excited is amongst all the use cases in AI. I mean, coding being right up there with AI coding. This is also right up there because it's a no-brainer. Like, this is not something you need to think about. I'm super excited to go look at an alert today and figure out what's going on. And no one says that to me. Right? So this is one of the things I said. It's a no-brainer, and we are trying to uplift and elevate the quality of work, team. Right? And so think about it. If you're building agents and there's so much of infra and network and apps to monitor, there's no way we can keep up. We just need more agents to monitor that stuff. So that's what gets me excited. And I think we are in the early innings of what's possible here. But I think this is super exciting.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you want to highlight some of your socials too, if people want to contact you and want to learn more about what you guys are doing with Edwin AI and LogicMonitor, if you guys want to plug any of that, do you have any socials you want to plug?
No, I'm just on LinkedIn, so feel free to follow me on there. I've already got a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Karthik is here on LinkedIn, but thank you. And this is a growing topic, and happy to share all our experiences and best practices.
Well, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So I know that we've kind of seen what Edwin can do right now. Can you talk a little bit about the future, where this is going to go? I mean, we got a couple minutes here. We could kind of tease that out.
We need 30 minutes for that, but I'll try to keep I think the most fascinating thing is this scenario where, like I said, self-healing, right? And I joke about chatbots going rogue, where they gave a refund to a client when they're not supposed to. Those are tough problems, right? You know how much of guardrails you put at stuff. Like, how do you teach a chatbot to negotiate? With good luck with that, right? But I say this is self-healing, right? This is infrastructure. These are alerts and logs. These are machine generated. There's no better way to fix this than a machine on an agent, right? So I feel like the self-healing part, a team, is what gets me most excited, because then you can even talk to your clusters. You can tell it, and it would talk with A2A protocols and MCP. You can also broaden the conversation, not just to your own footprint of real estate, but across the customer landscape. And it could go query something from another system, but really it's all there. The data is all there. And if you can have a way of talking and communicating and figuring it out, man, you can even come up with a run book on the fly to figure.
Yeah, I think that's where agentic AI plays a very important role, because agents are goal driven and they have very one specific task to do. So they'll go and execute the task. That's it. They'll not venture around into some other agents' work. So I think that's an excellent application of agentic AI in the ITOps space.
Yeah,
I totally agree as well. And just to throw out one plug, LogicMonitor will be at AWS reInvent, so come see us at the booth. I'm sure Karthik will be there. I'll be there. We'd be glad to talk to anyone.
I have another plug to add to that. The first time I actually came across LogicMonitor was at AWS reInvent, so thank you for that.
That's awesome. That's a good point there. AWS reInvent is right around the corner, and there'll be some fantastic things there, including you. So, exciting to see that you're going to have a booth there. And I imagine people should go there and chat with you about Edwin AI.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for being on
Thank
this exciting show of GenAI Live. It's been super informative, and I love your solution of Edwin AI, and I can't wait to see what it does next.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you,
everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. So join us for another episode of GenAI Live every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to learn where you can see the latest and greatest in GenAI innovation with AWS and its partners. So I'm Brian Terry. This is Parajad, and we'll see you next time.